Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do massive beer stuff here. A lot of stuff. Beer reviews, podcasts, which we haven't been doing a ton of, but we got some good ones coming up. This is one of my favorite kind of beer reviews. Mystery beers. Mystery beer number 5. Courtesy of my boy Camera from Camera? His name's not Camera. It's Cameron from out Wisconsin way. He sent this sucker off. It's a bottle. Something about bottled mystery beers kind of tickle me pink. We're going to dive into it. If you don't know what mystery beers are, beers that people drink and we drink them. How about that? Okay. So my palate's going to be something here because we're dealing with a big old stout. Basically, they're beers that people wrap up, obscure the labeling, so we have no idea what we're drinking. We crack them, we open, we drink them, we talk about them, whether we like them or not, what we think it is, what kind of beer we think it is, what kind of elements are involved, whether, hops, malts, barley, yeast, adjuncts, barrels, all that kind of fun stuff. And then every now and then we try to guess the actual beer. Good times. So number 5, bottle. We're off to a killer start here. No head whatsoever on it. What does that say? It had a fizzy head on it at first. If I give it a little bit of swirl and a shake, I get a little bit of a head back. Barreling, high EBV, adjuncts. Adjuncts can really kill a head on a beer. More specifically, a lot of oily adjuncts, whether it be coconut, things along those lines. So definitely looks the part of a big old stout. What kind of stout? Let's see if we get a nose. I mean, that's a big bourbon barrel. It's bourbon barrel aged stout. Words are meant to be said completely, not mumbled and jumbled and kind of just put all together like this. Not really. Anyway, it's a bourbon barrel aged stout, man. I don't know what else you want me to say. Big bourbony notes on it, a big chocolate charriness to it. I believe it's going to be a little bit bittering, maybe from a Russian Imperial Stout kind of thing, but at the same time, it could be a little bit of kind of barrel char thing, could be a little bit of hops kind of thing, back and forth. Big dark chocolate notes. There's a cherry cordially thing going on there, but not overly sweet. And a big spirit presence that I believe to be bourbon. Let's dive in. Cheers. Okay. That's delicious. Man, that's delicious. It's sweet, but it should be sweet because I think we're tiptoeing around 13-14% here. There's almost a subtle tartness to it. Very subtle tartness to it. Not in a sour kind of way, but almost like it is like a cherried kind of stout. There is a lot of cherry going on here, so I might, by the end of this, call this a bourbon barrel aged stout with cherries added. There's a nice bittering to it, nice charriness to it. There's a nice barrel character to this beer. I don't know what this is, though. Curious if this has time on it. I don't think it does. But I think this is something that was aged well. By age well, I mean, well, they did a good job. I think they did a great job of making the beer itself. But this isn't one of those, hey, we threw it in bourbon barrels for 6 to 9 months kind of thing. I think this is one of those, hey, we threw it in a bourbon barrel for a couple of years kind of take. It has very much Russian Imperial Stout kind of vibes to me. Because it does have this bittering to it. That barrel character, that charry chocolate, almost smoky to a certain extent, kind of barrel character, is here in spades. So it can be a little bit kind of like that adds it to that kind of Russian Imperial Stout, the kind of thing. But we're going to stick with the Russian Imperial Stout guns. Man, the amount of cherry in this is out of this world. So I'm going to call this a 14.7% bourbon barrel aged Russian Imperial Stout rested on cherries. Tip this hand a little bit here, Cameron. I said, he sent me 5 mystery beers or 6? 5, I believe. And he said the first 3, or maybe 6 actually, and the first 3, regardless, were from his home state. So might not be from Wisconsin. I don't think I've had this beer before. I don't think it's an old Bourbon County, although it has kind of that DNA kind of attached to it. I don't think it's older. There isn't a big oxidative note outside of what you typically get from a barrel-aged beer. I couldn't venture to guess who made it. But what I can tell you is that it's effing delicious. Like I said, I think we're dealing with like right around a 15% bourbon barrel-aged stout. Russian Imperial. With cherries. Let's dive into this sucker. I love it. I think it's fantastic. What do we have going on here? Okay, Dismembers Only. It's a Three Floyds beer. There you go. Okay, well, there's a lot of stuff going on in this. So I am not 13.5, a little bit lower in ABV. Bottled between May and June. It's $22 per 4-pack. Cameron was kind enough to put notes on there. It was an Imperial Milk Stout. Okay. I can get, lactose vibes off it, but I would have never gone there, obviously. I didn't talk about it. Aged in bourbon barrels with cacao nibs, cherries, and banana. Try banana added. I missed it. It's there. My palate sucks. So hyper-focused on those cherries. This is delicious. No shit, Sherlock. We're dealing with Three Floyds here. 13.5, so it was up there. I started to eke towards 15. I thought it was a little bit higher in ABV. But you're talking about Imperial Milk Stout. That sweetness maybe made me push that ABV up a little bit more. The bourbon characteristic in this is absolutely fantastic. More specifically, the bourbon barrel in this with the charriness and that richness is absolutely delectable. The cherries come off of this as cool as any cherries I've had in a beer, period. And honestly, that banana is there. It is there, and it adds this kind of banana kind of element to it, but that's not overpowering. It's kind of like when you get one of those peanut butter beers that has the hint of like a nutty richness that kind of errs toward the edge of peanut butter, but it doesn't quite get there. That's kind of how the banana works in here. It's not like runty or anything like that. It is more organic banana, but it just comes off as like almost like MSG for the beer. It adds this kind of bold flavor component that I don't think screams banana, but just elevates everything around it. It's a really, really tasty beer. Thank you very much, Cameron. Very cool. I think I did all right in that one. Been rusty on the mystery beers, but, ABV, 1.5 off. Called out those cherries, stouts, bourbon barrels, missed the milk, missed the bananas. Let's call it a push. I don't know. I'll call it delicious, and I'm drinking it. That's what I'm calling it. This is absolutely fantastic. Let's talk about it. It's one of the better barrel-aged beers that I've had as late. Absolutely, yeah. It's close up there about Rushmore status, too. I just like the combination, a little bit kooky combination here, milk stout, banana, cherry, but it all works and just shows you how great Three Floyds can make beer in general, let alone the barrel-aged stuff. He told you, value and availability. I think this at $22.99, if there's no tax, even if there is tax, I think it's actually quite a deal. You're talking about $6 a bottle for a bourbon barrel-aged beer of this level. I think I don't have a problem with that. Be perfectly honest with you, I'd rather pay $22 for a 4-pack of this as opposed to $18 for $750 or 500 ml. I'd rather pay that and dole this out in doses as opposed to one big bottle. And I'll leave with, if you like what we like this, we can do that from time to time. Big barrel-aged beers. A little kooky barrel-aged beers, but new school. Here it is. This is where this one falls perfectly in the line. If you like big barrel-aged beers and you can get down with the pastry stouts, but you like them to be a little bit reserved, that's where this one lies. It is technically, I guess, a desserty pastry stout in essence, but it's more on the cool, hand lukey, kind of not trying to be too showy, but still be bold and boisterous kind of thing. So if you dig on those pastry flavors, but more often than not, they tend to be a little bit too Spinal Tappy. Crank to 11. This is going to be your jam. So there you go. Mystery beer in the books. They're so fun to do. I forgot how much fun mystery beers are. Actually, I didn't forget. I was just bummed because I didn't have any, but now I do. I have like a bunch. Not a bunch, but enough to keep me occupied for a bit, but could always use more, so feel free to send them off. So thank you very much, Cameron, for sending this off. Hopefully you enjoyed this mystery beer. Go watch everybody else doing them because it's a pretty fun thing. Yeah, Three Floyds. Doesn't that suck? So hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. Hope to see you next time. Cheers, y'all.